All right, everybody, welcome into this little video. I wanted to talk about working with eclipse energy. And the reason I want to talk about that is we are almost into eclipse season that is starting on May 26th with a total lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. There's another eclipse, this time a solar eclipse in Gemini on June 10th. And then all the way at the end of this year, November 19th, a partial lunar eclipse in Taurus. And on December 4th, a total solar eclipse in Sag. So if you want to understand how to work with these energies, stick around. That's what we're going to do in this video. So you're still here. So you must be interested in working with the energies that we're talking about, the eclipse energies. So I'm going to talk about that in some great detail in this video. But if you're brand new to the channel and you like the content I create, please like, subscribe, and share. That would be awesome. And then you become part of the community, and you're also the first to know whenever I put out readings or I put out tools or any kind of rituals that you might want to avail yourselves of, okay? And I will be talking about something new on the channel that's going to be happening with one of the lives we do for members. It's going to involve doing rituals around the new moon, the full moon. It's going to involve accessing tools and other things that you can use to help you navigate, to help you expand your energy, move down your path, walk the spiritual path with a lot more confidence. And it's something I've been feeling called to do for the past 6 months. So huzzah, here we are. Okay, look at that. Maisie just disappeared. The two of them are sitting right there. So some of you know Maisie and Charlie. You'll see a lot more of them this summer. Here she comes again. All right, so let's get into it. The eclipses happen every year. So what's the big deal, honestly? The big deal about the eclipses are that it magnifies the energy. So if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know we talk about new moons, a time to manifest, and full moons, a time to release energy and release people and release toxic patterns. With the eclipses happening during these time periods of the year, you can take advantage of these eclipse energies on these new moons, full moons, to really expand into what you're looking to do to create your life and walk your spiritual path with purpose. The reason I feel so called to do this video is that you know that I teach classes about the North Node and the South Node. Your North Node is your purpose on this planet. This is what you're here to do. And as it turns out, right, your South Node, it's 180 degrees across the chart in your birth chart. And your South Node is your comfort zone. It's something you brought with you from your past life. But it's not benign. It's something that is unfinished karma from your past life. So a lot of times people sit in that South Node. They try to embrace that South Node because they know they need to finish something. That's past life, connects to twin flame, connects to, kind of unconscious patterns that we have. And, people go toward that South Node trying to fix this, trying to work on this. But here's the little spoiler for you. In order to unlock that past life karma of the South Node, you must go toward North Node. And why is this connected to eclipses? It's connected to eclipses because eclipses activate your North Node energy. Okay? They pass when you have this North Node and South Node axis. If it's in the signs that your North and South Node are in, it will activate this. And so that will expand the energy. So even if I'll talk a little bit more about what you can do if your signs in the North Node and South Node are not in the eclipse signs. That's totally cool too. It will still be super powerful for you. It likely will be just a little bit different for you than if you are in the same signs of the current eclipse season. So we'll get into that in 1 second. So the eclipse energy, essentially they're, little lanterns, okay? They're little signposts that light up the path a little bit brighter. And boy, I don't know about you, but we could surely use that sometimes, right? Like it seems, okay, walk toward my North Node. That's great. It scares the crap out of me. I'm going to go back to my South Node, my comfort zone. And it just cycles through that way, okay? So these eclipse energies can allow you to do have a little more clarity, let's just say, okay? And what exactly you need to be manifesting, what you need to be releasing. It just gets a little more clear in the eclipse energy. Like I said before, eclipses activate the north and south nodes in your birth chart. So you're going to need to find your birth chart and have an accurate time, an accurate birth time, because your north and south node are mathematical points. They're in ellipsis around the moon. Okay, and obviously we're talking about moon energy right now with the eclipse. And so if you know your accurate birth time, you have a better chance of getting accurate information out of your birth chart. No question about it. Okay. So, in your birth chart, in this north and south node thing that I've been talking about for, 2 years now, they are associated with our past lives. The south node is your past life, is what you bring in, and your future destiny. The north node is the language you're learning to speak. It is the purpose. It is what you're here to do. And it's not just some it's just a skill set or a job necessarily. It is the shortcut to enlightenment. That's what the north node is. It's the shortcut to enlightenment. Do you know why that is? Because by embracing that north node, embracing that thing that scares the crap out of you, okay, you unlock your south node karma, and then you're free of it. Okay, so if you have cycles going on in your life, and if you can't figure out what those things are, where they come from, give the north node and south node a little look. Okay, just do it for me. And I think it's going to bring you a lot of clarity and a lot of awareness around what the work is. Okay, what the work is. The north node has that answer. So let's get specific now. Okay, let's get specific about these particular eclipses that are coming up. So I'm going to start in 2020 because that's when things shifted into the signs they're currently in. So for the past year or so, last June, okay, it shifted into Sagittarius and Gemini axis. It was in Capricorn and Cancer. The one thing you should know, well, there's many things you should know, but one thing you should know about the north nodes are that they always go backwards. You can't be in retrograde if you never go direct. So it's sort of like they always just go backwards. All right. It's just a mathematical point, and that's how that's calculated. And for the past year, the eclipses have been in Gemini and Sagittarius. Okay. And when that happens, if you have north node in Sagittarius, south node in Gemini, or vice versa, it's activating that for you. Okay, it's activating that energy. So it's moving through that energy, and it's bringing you opportunities. It's expanding things. It's opening things up. So these eclipses last year, and now again in May and June, and in November and December, we do have a Taurus. We're moving out of it. We're moving into Taurus and Scorpio, right? We're moving into the next group. The north nodes, just parenthetically here, because you may not have Gemini and Sagittarius as your north and south node. These eclipses activate those people with the Gemini and Sagittarius axis for their north node. It takes 19 years for it to go through all of the cycles, okay, for it to go through all of the pairs, okay, and to get back to, where it was in your birth chart. So it will go through you twice, right? But the second time it'll be reversed. So let me explain. So if you have north node in Gemini, which I do, and south node in Sagittarius, which is the current iteration of this axis, what is being activated is north node Gemini, south node Sagittarius. About 8 years ago, it was, or 8 or 10 years ago, it was the reverse of that, okay? And so that would have had a different impact on me. So if you have north node in Sagittarius and south node in Gemini, you're going to have some activation from that as well, but you may see it in the reverse of how a north node in Gemini person versus a north node in Gemini, south node Sag would see it activated. And it's because my north node right now in Gemini being activated means I'm on track for that forward movement. If it's in the reverse position, it's going to activate sort of a reverse situation. So you may have found yourself, or me, I found myself 10 years ago doing exactly the opposite, or feeling, pulled to do some things the opposite of what would have unlocked my karma, brought me to my North Node purpose in life. But ironically enough, it's still a path. It's still a path. It's like dragging you through some past life lessons without really any kind of awareness or karmic capability of unlocking the lesson. Once it starts moving in your favor and activating that North Node, if you are embracing that North Node energy, then you are going to be able to unlock that South Node karma and release yourself from those patterns. I also want to say, if you are in one of those years, remember I said it's about 19 years that will go through the entire, chart. It will go through all the way back to where your North Node was. So North Node in Gemini in the 8th house. It's just swept through the North Node. It has just swept through that 8th house. In my chart, it's in my chart in the 8th house. It may be in a different house in your chart, but Gemini, it swept through Gemini. Okay. And so I've had that activation going on. My North Node is in that 8th house in Gemini, and I've had a lunar return, or a nodal return. Sorry. And so it's like a double whammy. So if you're around my age, like in your mid to late 50s, you are likely having that same experience as I am. So 10 years ago, you may have felt a need to bust out of your old life. You may have had your life implode on you. You may have had all kinds of stuff happen. And in the last 10 years, you've been dragged through a series of lessons. And, depending on how awake you are or how available you are for those lessons, were you dragged or did you drive through them? Right? Were you on the bicycle with the broken wheel driving over cut glass, or were you in the Range Rover? Which one were you doing? And now that we're in this place of the eclipses happening for this year, I want to finally give you some ways of looking at it for yourself and how to work with this energy. I know most of you are not in that Gemini Sagittarius axis, right, with your North and South Node. So let's set that aside for a second. I will talk to you guys at the end of this or in a minute or two. But let's address everybody else who does not have that nodal axis. Okay, can I still work with this energy? Is it still powerful for me? Like, what's the big deal? Yes. The answer is yes. It is still powerful for you. And there are still ways of accessing this energy, even if it's not here to like bop you on the head with a magic wand and really push you down the road toward your purpose. If you utilize this energy, by the time it gets to you, you're going to be in such a better place. Okay. It's also about working along. It's like taking a class and doing the homework every night. So when you get to the final, you're like, yeah, no big deal. You're not cramming for 3 days and no sleep and all-nighters and feeling terrible and overdosing on Mountain Dew. You're not doing any of that. By the time, your North Node mission bops you on the head. Now, some of you may already be in your North Node mission. This is also going to help that along, whether you're in Gemini and Sagittarius axis or not, okay? So in the lunar eclipse that we're having at the end of May, this is when the moon moves into Earth shadow, okay? So lunar eclipses, they help us realize what's going on around us, okay? So they help us see the external effects on us. And it helps us to sort of see how other people are influencing our path. And then we get to make a choice. Okay, we get to release those are harming or hindering us on our spiritual progress and path. We get to really see it, because it's like the moon is moving into the Earth's shadow. It's like you are being obscured by somebody or something, or it's not about you're doing. It's not about your blocks or anything like that. It's somebody blocking you from moving forward, okay, or from doing what you want to do. So this energy gives you a chance to really see that. and it might illuminate that for you. And what it does is it illuminates us, it illuminates it for us internally first, so that in that lunar eclipse energy, you can take action and release, right? It really does expand that energy. So I want to say to you, on May 26th this month, right on the same day that we're having that lunar eclipse, the members live that we always hold on Wednesday. If you're a member of this channel, you know we do this live every Wednesday. And if you're not a member, please join and take part in these, because we're shifting these live events every Wednesday into tools and rituals, meditations, etc. Okay? So there's a button on the channel and there's a link below that you can join if you want. And what we're going to do on this particular day is we are going to do an eclipse ritual. Okay, it's designed to help you let go of people or work or issues or any toxicity in your vicinity that is blocking your life. I'm going to drop a link to join, like I said, and we're going to do all kinds of different stuff. So please join if that's interesting to you. Okay, so that's the May 26th lunar eclipse. In general, though, lunar eclipses are chances to really see how other people, and it can be very subtle, but the moon energy is very subtle. So this is about you feeling like, yeah, that feels off to me, and following that, all right, and releasing people from your path. Now, the solar eclipses, which is when the sun is obscured by the moon, what you're doing there is you are then looking inside for things you wish to grow inside of you, okay, or personally change or personally work with. You're looking in your heart, before anybody sees the fruits of this desire. This is a perfect manifesting time, okay? Perfect manifesting time. So the solar eclipse is expanding the energy of the new moon, so it's a manifesting time, and the lunar eclipses are expanding the energy of the full moon. Okay, it's a time for releasing and letting go, and anything that is hindering you on your spiritual path, awesome. So if you are in this Gemini and Sag, how is this going to affect you specifically then? If you have this Gemini, Sagittarius, North Node, South Node thing, it can really impact you a lot, no matter which sign it is. I explained that a little bit earlier in this video. If you missed it, you might want to check it out. But your North Node is what you're here to learn on what your purpose is on this planet. And this can really activate that. So if you have a North Node in Gemini, okay, if your North Node's in Gemini during this eclipse, this is about learning how to speak up, learning how to use your voice, learning how to be a messenger and speak your truth so that others may hear you, being clever, being adaptable, being witty, being, engaging and things like that. The flip side of it, the too much energy, is about scattered and nervous. Okay, so working with that energy in this eclipse can be super powerful for you in this axis. Okay, and the dates I gave you at the top of the video. If you have your North Node in Sag, this is about your beliefs and your long-held beliefs that may change. They may change radically during these eclipses. So this can be about freedom from certain belief systems. This can be about you deciding and becoming, and sort of stepping into your power and in your own beliefs and being like, hey, you know what? This is what my experience is. And this is how I've been working with this North Node and South Node karmic axis this entire time. And so now I'm seeing how activating my own belief system is really going to help me unlock my past life karma. It's going to help bring me closer to enlightenment. It's going to help me really walk my mission with purpose. Okay? And you may be becoming more optimistic and more inspirational. The negative side of that is blunt and judgmental, right? So North Node, South Node, however you choose to work with this, and that is, I want to say this to you, I want you to hear me on this one. I don't believe that astrology is like a death sentence for anyone. I don't, well, this is what it said in my astrology chart, so that means your opportunity as someone on a spiritual path is to work with the energies. Okay, so even if something is north and south node, if it's the opposite time, right? Even what I said before, if your north and south nodes are flipped, and so, you know, we're doing the Sagittarius eclipse and it's the Gemini north node, it's okay. All right, I want you to work with the energies because you have power here. This is not about you being like a victim of the stars. Okay, that I think is an old wives' tale. I think that's how people used to think about astrology. I prefer to look at astrology as a working tool that you can say, how can I flow with these energies? How can I work with them? How can I, take advantage of this time? Because sometimes, like, if you're an extrovert or something like that, and you hear it's time to go inside, okay, if you fight it, you're like, I'm trying to be extroverted during this time, then that might be tough. But it's really, knowledge is power. So it's great to know where we are in the eclipses. It's great to know where we are and how we can activate this energy for ourselves. So that's what this whole video is about, right? Now, later this year, the eclipses are moving into Taurus. You heard me give the date at the top of the video. It's moving into Taurus, and Taurus is about your values, your stability, your comfort zone, you're feeling comfortable, you're creating things that are that feel good to you, that feel solid to you. Loyalty is a big deal to Taurus, and so is being stable. But the flip side of that is rigid. Okay, you could be a builder or a destroyer, right, with Taurus. So how can you flow with that energy? What I'm suggesting to you, this is your homework assignment. First of all, come and join us on those Wednesday lives. But second of all, I want you to take a look at your birth chart because everybody has everything in the birth chart. I teach a class called Understanding Your Birth Chart. That link is also below. I know, there's all this kind of stuff. And you guys have everything in your chart. You have all 12 zodiac signs, you have all 12 houses, and you have all the planets. Okay? It's just how they're arranged is impacting your life. And for many of us, for a long time, it was kind of like, yeah, I'm a victim of this, and it just is, it's in the stars and this is what it is. So you've got a lot more power than that, and I want to say that to you because I feel like people don't necessarily understand that. But you can, if you feel like Taurus isn't really a part of my life, go take a look. What house is your Taurus in? Take a look at that. What house is my Taurus in? I need to work on being loyal or having comfort or building something as it relates to the energy of that house. That's how you kind of work with this, with your astrology chart. So Taurus later this year, this can help you really maybe realign your values, realign or work with your stability. This is something that's very important for everybody. So again, lunar eclipses highlights the energy of the full moon. It's a time to release what no longer serves. The solar eclipses are about the new moon, and it's about manifesting on a high level. The eclipses really do activate the north and south node, your purpose for being on this planet. So I hope this video has helped you understand how you can work with eclipse energy, whether it's in your north and south node axis or not, and how you can manifest and purge effectively for your life. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video. If this has really brought you some kind of insight, if you want to work with me a lot more, you can. We do North Node and South Node classes. Like I said, those Wednesday lives, and we do a lot more astrology classes. So if you want to come and join, and I'd love to hear your insight on things, so please drop a comment. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If you subscribe to the channel, click that little bell so you're notified. You'll be the first to know of anything that comes out. Okay? All right. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.